Through the generous contribution of Dr. Lewis's family, we're very fortunate to be able to share with you these timeless recordings of Dr. M. W. Lewis, a self-realized American yogi. Dr. Lewis was Paramahansa Yogananda's first American disciple and dearest personal friend. The wisdom Dr. Lewis imparts through these teachings will give you a dynamic and practical insight into the ancient science of yoga as taught by Paramahansa Yogananda. This lecture's title is, Are We Children of God? And was delivered in San Diego, California on July the 11th, 1954.
The Master used to say that this religion shouldn't be a funeral ceremony. I think it is good to inject those things because they are naturally have the human qualities and everybody appreciates those qualities. So now a few words about our subject this morning. Are we children of God? Well, of course we are children of God. We can answer that in the affirmative. We have many references from the saints and from the scriptures stating that very fact. I'll just give you two which might interest you from St. John, 10th chapter, 34th verse. Jesus said unto them, Is it not written in your law, I said ye are gods? And then the 82nd Psalm, 6th verse, I have said ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. It couldn't be any more pointed or plainer that we are all children of God. But then comes the next question. Do we all realize that we are children of God? That we have to answer no. We all do not realize it. We may know it intuitionally within, because the soul knows all things. But it is not dynamic to our consciousness. We have not the reality before us as a part of God Himself. If we have that, then we can say that we are children of God. But many do not realize that. Now, a true child of God is one who knows that he is one with God. You cannot be a true child of God unless you have the realization of God in you as one of His manifestations. You are a child of God, really, when you see His great light with you always. When you see the light of His presence, that light which God created. God the Father said, let there be light, and there was light. And from that light all things come. Now when you see that, then you know that you are one with God. Then you have the realization of it. You have made it dynamic to your consciousness. Until you have that, you may feel you are God's child, but you do not know it. You have not made it dynamic to your consciousness. And that indissoluble relationship which you have with God, just because you do not know it doesn't mean it isn't there. It is a permanent thing. It cannot be dissolved, because it is God who is in you, in me, in all. Now, what we have to do to be a real child of God and to know it is to make that one with our consciousness. Make it dynamic to our consciousness. When you do that, then you can know without question of a doubt that you are a child of God. Then there's no separateness. Until that point comes, until by your own effort and God's grace you realize that, then there is simply an understanding that you are God's child, but not a knowing. That's the important thing. When you know it, when you know that light of His great holy vibration, when you hear the sound of that, always with you, and when you feel in your heart that God is with you under every condition, then you have made it dynamic to your consciousness. And then you know that you are God's child. Until that comes, you will not be satisfied. So it is well that we make that our own. In Romans, the 10th chapter, the 8th verse, we read these words, that is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God. You cannot realize the light of God with worldly consciousness. You can realize all things of the flesh, all things of matter, by worldly consciousness.